I'll have my FASTQ directory, ls into it, and we are going to see our FASTQ files. So that's what we have. So now we are going to perform the genome assembly using SPAdes. So we will use these files. Okay, these are the paired end reads. Okay, so we will proceed. We will perform our genome assembly. So we will call SPAdes. Okay, so to use SPAdes to assemble the reads, we will say SPAdes.py and we say -- careful. And I'll say -1 to specify the forward. That will be FASTQ / and I indicate the name. -2 will be for the reverse. So FASTQ and I specify the 2. Okay, that's how it's going to be. Now let's indicate the number of threads. So we will say -- threads and we will indicate 4. Now let's also indicate the output directory. So that will be -o. Now say SPAdes_out. So this is going to be our final command. Okay, that's how it's going to be. Okay, so we have SPAdes.py careful -1 for forward, -2 for reverse, number of threads, and -o for the output directory. Now with the number of threads, you can increase it. Okay, so if you're using a high-end PC or if you're using a Linux cluster which has lots of cores, then you can increase this number to 10, 20, 30, or whatever has been made available for you. So this will also speed up the genome assembly process. For now, I'm using my normal laptop. That is why I'm using 4. Okay, so just make sure to use an appropriate number. So now let's execute this command. Okay, now SPAdes is doing its work, so let's wait for the assembly to get completed. Okay, SPAdes has completed its work. So if everything is successful, then you are going to see this text here, and you're also going to see this. If there are warnings, they will be indicated, so you will see them also here. Now let's take a look at one of the warnings, like this one for example. It says your data seems to have high uniform coverage depth. It is strongly recommended to use the isolate option. Now if you see something like this, I recommend that you rerun SPAdes, and this time factor in the option that has been recommended to you, or the options that have been recommended to you. Okay, and then you can compare the assemblies, the earlier one and the one which factored in the recommended options. Okay, there are tools that can be used to evaluate genome assemblies. One such tool is Quast, so you can use that to compare both assemblies and then choose the one which is of higher quality. Okay, so that's what I recommend you do. But for this tutorial, we are going to use what we have. Okay, we are not going to rerun SPAdes. Okay, but if you have your data set, it's recommended that you take into consideration whatever SPAdes gives you or whatever SPAdes recommends for you to use. Okay, now let's continue. So let's take a look at our output files. So let's do an ls, and we are going to see a directory called SPAdes_out. This has our file. So let's ls into it, and we are going to find our files here. Now, each of these files, there's a description for it. Okay, so a description of each of these files can be found on the SPAdes website. Let's check that page out. So this is the page. I will leave the link to this page in the description box. So when you are here, just look at the SPAdes outputs. Okay, this section here. So click it and you'll be sent to the section which has the descriptions. Okay, so you can just read about each of the output files here. Okay, there's also a GitHub page for SPAdes, which is here. I'll leave the link to this page also in the description. So you can also come here to read more about SPAdes. Okay, so that's about this. So let's go back to our terminal. Okay, so we are back to the terminal. So in this tutorial, we are going to use the scaffold.fasta, and we're also going to use the assembly graph, which is this one here, the assembly underscore graph.fastgen. These are the files we are going to use. So we are going to visualize the assembly using this file, and then for the annotation, we are going to use the scaffold.fasta. Okay, those are the things we are going to do. Now, before we even proceed, let's explore the scaffold.fasta. Okay, let's check what we have. These are sequences which we refer to as contigs. So we can take a look at how many contigs have been identified or have been constructed. So we can use the grep command to do that. So we can say grep, and then we specify the file. So we say SPAdes out slash scaffolds.fasta. So once we do that, we are going to find the contigs. So here we have two contigs, okay, and that's two sequences. So these are the ones we have. Okay, we are dealing with a viral genome, so that's what we have. So once we have this, then we can probe further, and this is where the visualization comes in. Okay, so what we are going to do next is to visualize the assembly graph, and then we can have a discussion on it. So let's continue.